Coach, you're 6-0. Obviously not the prettiest game in the world, but you did get the win. So just talk to me about what you saw out there and what you thought of the game overall.
I thought, especially first half, I thought we pressed a little bit. I felt like we played a little tight the first half, which is the first time I've seen that, and probably during conference play. I thought this game actually, though, was good for us. I think we needed to see how our kids reacted in a close game, and this was a close game from start to finish. We also needed to see how our kids reacted when Keena Mays isn't having her best day. And she struggled today, especially struggled in the second half. And I felt like Alisha and Akil took over, and our two upperclassmen, and made some big shots. Akil had some big rebounds and just had some nice plays. But I think the last 3 minutes was really a credit to what this team is all about. You know, it wasn't a pretty win, and there's a lot of wins out there that are not pretty, but in the timeouts in the last couple minutes, Alisha Filmore was the main focus. And what I mean by that is she did a great job of keeping our kids, our heads up when we were down, keeping them ready and just firing them up. And I can't explain to you how valuable she is during the timeout.
Okay.
When you got a performance where not everything's clicking, but your team does find a way to fight its way through, learning to win when maybe you don't play your best, what kinds of things are you as a coaching staff talking about on the sideline during timeouts late in a game like this?
Well, I'll tell you what we talked about at halftime. We were very fortunate to be up at halftime, the way we played that first half. And we weren't quite sure how we were up because we really weren't clicking. And the best time frame that we clicked was the first 5 minutes of the second half, when we got a running game going, and then we got a little sloppy in our transition game, and a couple turnovers led into points for Houston. But I think, what this showed, it just showed the character of our team, and I think that defensive stance was really what we were all about. There's just not a give-up attitude, and even though you get down when you miss a shot, you miss a free throw, or maybe you throw the ball away, I just felt like our kids always have that fight. And that's really kind of the mark of this team, I think, this year.
Coach, coming into this game, you and Houston were ranked first and second, respectively, in points per game in the conference. Obviously, that didn't really go the way as planned. Do you credit that to good defense, or was it just bad offense and not really clicking?
Well, I don't think, I can't speak for Houston, but for us, we weren't in sync today. We weren't smooth. We just played tight. I think we tried to rush things. We were taking quick shots. We were impatient. I think in the first half, in transition, when we missed some shots, when we missed some threes that we normally hit, you can see us kind of tighten up, and then that led to some poor decisions. I never really felt like we really got our offense going today against Houston. So sometimes you got to create offense from your defense, and that's kind of what we were trying to do. But I will tell you, we had some great defensive stands at the end.
You mentioned Alisha Filmore and what she was doing on the sideline late in the game. She also led your offense with 14 points and led the defense really with 6 steals. Where does this rank in terms of her better performances this year? And did you specifically go to her and say, we need you to take over because Houston's sort of ganging up on Keena Mays?
Oh, I'm always on Alisha to take over and get her game going. And I know she has to look at me at times and say, Coach, I'm trying. But we do, and I rely a lot on Alisha for a lot of things. But she's that person that even when maybe she's not hitting shots, all of a sudden she's going to hit a big three. She hit a big three. I can't remember at what point in the game. I just remember saying to myself, that's a big three. And she's just going to make plays. She's smart defensively. She's always talking to our players, and it's the intangibles with Alisha more so than the 14 points and 6 steals. It's the leadership that she brings to this team, and she reminds players. And we all need constant reminders. And she's just always she's become a great voice. In the past, Alisha was always too nice, and she would be a leader, but it wasn't with authority. Now she finally has learned to say, I don't care if they get mad at me. It's okay, and I think that's really helping us.
Coach, your team obviously had over 20 turnovers, but it was Houston late that had the 3 key turnovers that just kind of propelled your team to the victory here. Talk about your team's turnovers and what the last couple of minutes meant as far as that.
Well, Houston is a team that, we say their guards have a lot of length. Their guards are tall, and they do a great job of getting their hands in the passing lanes. And so I thought we had a couple forced passes at the beginning of the game, trying to force the ball over their lengthy post player. During that time when we were running the basketball, we had some nice transition baskets. Then we come down, try to run the ball, and we're making some passes, trying to force some passes, thread the needle too much, and they were getting their hands on the ball. So, I think it was us being impatient and trying to force it too much. Like I told our kids, you got to come focused from start to finish. And one of the things that I've been frustrated with this team about is our start. The first 5 minutes, we got to come out better the first 5 minutes of the first half or the game and be ready to play for 40 minutes. And that's something that we must improve on, because there's going to be a team that's going to start out, and if we keep starting out slowly, it's going to catch up with us.
Is UTEP the type of team that can do that, the team you're going to see this Sunday?
Absolutely. They do a great job of shooting the 3 ball. They're playing very well. They're a confident team right now. UTEP's a very, very good team. It's going to be a heck of a matchup, but we must pick up our play. If we play like we did tonight, it's going to be a long afternoon over there in El Paso. So we got to pick it up, and that's what we'll start with tomorrow.
You're 15-4, 6-0 in conference. Is this team exceeding your expectations for this year?
That's actually my expectations were pretty high of this team, and I don't know if I'd say they're exceeding it, but I knew this team was special and is special. I think the fact that we play together as a team, I think this team is very close, and the fact that we do play as a team is a perfect example of how we won this game, because we certainly didn't do it with our sharp play today, that's for sure, but we did it as a team. I think this team is capable of a lot of things. I told our team at the beginning of the year, I said, we're going to do things this year that we haven't done in a long time, and part of it is believing in yourself.